What's going on? It's Justeeni here. That's right. Finally hit 8,000 trophies. It happened a lot faster than I expected. Um, I was just using the deck I was using before. I'll kind of show you some of the games. So I got a freebie with the last one. The opponent was generous enough to give me it. But before that point, you can see I just decided to do a push session one day, and I just won all of my games, all in a row. So I'm gonna show you a couple of them, some really intense ones. So we've got this one. Opponent has Evo Archers, Boss Bandit, Mega Knight, and Evo Goblin Barrel. You can kind of see how these matchups tend to go. So they usually commit first. Some weird aggressive play. I go with the Monk, Ice Spirit, so if they use ability, it's a +1 trade for me. If not, it's an even trade, but I'm going to get counter push off the Monk. They use the ability. Makes sense here, so I'm up. Well, I'm actually not up Elixir, because I played my Ice Spirit later. They Mega Knight straight on the bridge. Classic mid-ladder shenanigans, but I can just full defend with Inferno Tower. If they have Zap, then I just Scar me on top of the Mega Knight while it's locked onto the Inferno Tower. They Tesla, I still get damage though. And I'm up a ton of Elixir and damage. But it's really all about just kind of sitting back and waiting for the opponent in single especially. So Prince is in the back, not on the bridge. I could get away with it on the bridge, but I don't want to do that kind of thing. They go for the God Barrel. I'm just going to snowball it. And yeah, again, just wait. I know that they're probably going to Boss Bandit, but I'm not going to go for some crazy way of defending the Princes. It's just not practical. So once again, just bunk defense. Now here I should have activated my ability instead of I go for the Scar Me, which is a little not quite as good because it's a bit more expensive. But things work out anyway. And again, I'm up Elixir, so I just kind of don't do anything too committal. In fact, what I do here, I go Suspush in the back. I know that they have Mega Knight in hand, and I want them to just keep it in hand. It's very inconvenient for them to wait around. And yeah, you can see the mini P.E.K.K.A in the back. Because if I just put the Suspush at the bridge, they would just Mega Knighted it. Full counter, nice and easy. Instead, they have to do it a little late, and they mini P.E.K.K.A. And it's going to make for a very easy defense here. Everything's just clean up. They God Barrel on the Inferno Tower, and extremely late too, so there's no retargeting onto the goblins. They arrows, and it's double Elixir, so I can start to be more aggressive with the Princess. They log, now I Suspush. And I'm really just forcing out responses, making it impossible for them to build a push. While I'm trying to get damage, I cycle my Ice Spirit. I'm going to go Inferno Tower, set that up. And then I'm going to set my Monk up. They go with the Archers in front of their Mega Knight, which I can just... I didn't even need to use ability, because my Inferno Tower targeted one of the Archers, but... yeah, now they Evo God Barrel, which is a little scary here, but I just Snowball. I'm not really willing to take any damage, so that's why I Snowball and Scar me. And I can Suspush again. And that's why I love Suspush so much for mid-ladder, is because they just don't know how to defend it. They should have used a mini P.E.K.K.A to defend, but they try for the Tesla. They take a ton of damage, and yeah, if they defend it properly, it's also no big deal. But when they defend it improperly, it hurts so much. And yeah, now they have their Evo Archers, but I just Kite, Monk, ability. The God Barrel's a little scary, but they actually misplace it. So my Princess plus Snowball full counters. I get a ton more damage with the Suspush, and I'm just going to keep doing that. I can go for another Inferno Tower. I go Scar me first, though. I know that they have arrows, that's why Inferno Tower afterwards. Because I know they're going to arrows, they miss arrows anyway. And again, just chilling on defense. All of these games pretty much go to overtime, because that's how this deck rolls. You have to play really safe. Now again, just getting the nice ability. And then here, because I don't have Inferno Tower in cycle, and my Inferno Tower is about to die, I just go for the Rocket. It's going to clear out the mini P.E.K.K.A. And that Goblin Barrel actually does kill my Princess, because I misplaced the Scar me a little bit. But things are still fine, because they don't have Mega Knight. Well, they have Mega Knight in hand now, so they can counter the Suspush. But yeah, their pushes basically just aren't going anywhere. They don't have any big spells. It's going to be a little scary, but again, my Princess really clutches up here. An ability. kill the archers. Another sus push. And then I rocket, which maybe was a little preemptive. I probably could have like stacked some more troops in the back to make this defense easier first. But you can see they completely ignore the sus push again. I get a ton of damage. I have to scar me because my hand's a little awkward here. But I am able to deal with everything except for the Goblin Barrel, which I have to snowball back. I can get the ability. Barely kill that Evo Archer. Scar me. Barely clears everything. You have to arrows. Eye Tower. I do hold on. Barely take any damage. So the rocket did pay off, but like it was really, really sketchy. So that's why I probably should have waited on it, but yeah, that's kind of how the average game goes. As long as you just play really well and, you know, just don't take damage, that's kind of what this deck wants to do, then yeah. I can also show you some other matchups where things get a bit more interesting. So this one, same deal, they've got Goblin Barrel and stuff, really over-leveled. And again, really passive. I realize I can just monk here. I was thinking about Princess, but just monk, same lane. It's gonna full counter the knight. And they, for some reason, this is one thing I really like about the monk, is people suck at playing against the monk. And monk counters range cards at any level. It's not level dependent at all. Level 11 monk is gonna kill that musketeer no matter what level it is, which is just amazing. And yeah, it's another Mega Knight. But is like Inferno Tower Ice Spirit counters no damage to the Inferno Tower, so now it sticks around. I sus push, so then they're forced to play cards in response, which is going to go into my Inferno Tower. They have Goblin Gang, which is really scary because overleveled goblins are really strong. You can actually see I take quite a bit of damage on the right because that overleveled goblin connected. And then now I have to scar me. I decide to wait on the scar me as long as I can. And yeah, they rage. They do clip my tower because I decided to go for the low scar me. But all in all, not too big of a deal. And then they use Baby Dragon, and Baby Dragon, I really don't like seeing that here, because I have to use Inferno Tower. I could have used like Ice Spirit Snowball as well, but then I don't have an answer for their Goblin Barrel, and it's really icky. But Baby Dragon's not fun to deal with for this kind of deck because like Monk actually doesn't answer very well because it doesn't deal enough damage to itself. And like you can't just kite it around that easily if it's overleveled because it has a lot of health. And you can only kite it so much. And it's just really inconvenient if it's like supporting the push and stuff. Now they've got a Mega Knight. This Mega Knight, despite the lack of Inferno Tower, isn't too big of a deal to counter, but the problem is the Goblin Barrel support. I have the Scar me, but then they drop the Rage, and that gets a ton of damage before his Snowball. I should have been more ready for that, because I knew that they had Rage. But it just kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I forgot they could do that. But throw down another Sus Bush. They can't Rage it, so they have to save their mini-tank. Just playing Eye Tower predictably on defense. I thought they would Valk on the Sus Bush, which is why I went for the prediction Snowball, because they were just sitting there. But instead they went for the Baby Dragon, which was really weird. Now I don't have Snowball though, so I have to Scar me this again. I know that they're going to Rage, but I'm going to get some damage. They still get like a couple of hits with the Goblin Barrel, but if I didn't Scar me, yeah, my Scar me doesn't get Rage, but I would have taken way more damage. I Monk, take out their Muskie, get some chip damage. That's another nice thing with Monk is, again, no matter what level the Monk is, it's getting the same amount of chip damage. Chip damage depends on their tower level, so you can always get some good damage with Monk. And yeah, they go for the Rage again, but I Snowball. I knew they were going to do that. I do take a lot of damage there, but they ignored the Sus Bush on the left, so I actually managed to win this one, which I feel like I probably should not have won, because it was just really hard to answer the Goblin Barrel Rage. But now I'll show you one more, and you can see the card levels with this last one. Absolutely insane. Evo Dark Goblin too, so they've got extra Evos, and some really nasty cards. Level 13 Furnace, level 14 Knight. They have Cannoneer, luckily, at only level 12, which was a bit of a saving grace here. Like, but the card levels are pretty insane. Like, I just Sus Push in the back, sit there, I'm effectively up to Elixir. Now they go for the Furnace in the back, which I just hate seeing I rocket it because I don't have much of a choice. There's just no good way to deal with Furnace. I take the Fire Spirit damage in return, so that was just basically strictly -2 Elixir trade. I get slightly more damage, but not much. They go for supporting that. They Dark Goblin way too soon. People don't play around Monk at all, and the Monk actually completely counters the Cannon Cart because it leaves it on half HP. But the Knight still gets one swing. But yeah, the one saving grace in this matchup is they do have a lot of ranged cards, so the Monk is absolutely eating good. And they don't have a win condition. But I mean, realistically, their overlevel cards may as well be a win condition. I'm just cycling back to my Sus Bush. And if they Furnace. I believe that Furnace... Oh, no, it doesn't. It does not counter my Sus Bush. I don't know if they were intending to do that. Like, use the Fire Spirit to jump on the Ice Spirit to encounter the Sus Bush. If that was their plan, it was actually a pretty good idea. I'm surprised it didn't work. Now they're just kind of sitting and waiting, which is not a very good idea when you're down so much damage like this. Especially when the opponent is waiting as well, because... Yeah, but, I mean... You can't expect the opponent to be quite so good when they're this over-leveled. So again, just waiting until double. The worst thing I can do here is try to play single out and then just make a mistake and lose an entire tower. So I am waiting till double, and then I'm cycling a Skarmy in the back. I do that in a little bit. The reason why is because against Cannoneer, split Skarmy is actually good and can threaten tower damage. Against Princess Tower or Duchess, don't do this, obviously. Against Chef's Tower, you can sometimes do it, because that one also fires pretty slow. But against Cannoneer, it's actually really good at forcing a response on both sides. I mean, if they play a card like in the middle, then they don't have to respond to both sides, but they don't know that. And yeah, I get a nice Monk ability here. It's mostly to get chip damage on the tower, not to counter the Xe. But it does deal good damage to the Xe too. They Ewas on the Sus Bush, but they did it too soon and actually lost their Ewas. They logged the wrong side. They should have logged the Sus Bush because they would have hit the Princess as well. They do get a good Furnace on the Sus Bush, but I do rocket that. Then I can Inferno Tower, because I kind of have to use Inferno Tower to counter the Knight, unless I want to use Monk, but I need to save Monk for the Dark Goblin and Cannon Cart that they have. But now I Sus Bush. And again, they're just kind of waiting. They go for the Cannon Cart. If I was faster, I could have actually landed this rocket. I really wanted to get the rocket, so I go for it. Luckily, I only need one rocket to win, but this push is going to be absolutely nasty. I can't place Inferno Tower in the spot I want to, so I have to place it like really far back, which is awkward. I counter their Evo Dark Gob, luckily. And just barely. That Cannon Cart doesn't lock on. I have to use a Skarmy to counter an Executioner, which is really weird, and the Ice Spear, which just dies instantly, but it just buys me some time. Rocket. And that's GG's. So, yeah, really just solid. Like, I didn't do anything, like, really stupid in those games, and I actually won because of that. This deck is kind of cracked. I'm going to be looking into, like, some other decks. I don't know if I'm going to be able to push to 8.5k. I don't even know what to expect. I haven't played a single game at 8k, but I've got some other, you know, decks in the works. Maybe they work. Maybe they don't. I mean, I have tried some, like Spell Cycle. I found this one to be pretty decent. Same with, like, Goblin Drill and stuff. Expo's okay. Not the best. That's the best Expo deck I've found for grinding mid-ladder. You have to have Rocket. You can't be running Fireball. But, yeah, maybe at some point, once I've really gotten a lot of testing with these decks, because the nice thing about being at AK is I'm going to stay at AK, which means, you know, I won't be, like, all the way down at 7.5k if I'm testing decks and they're not going well. So, yeah, maybe once I can level up some more cards, maybe I'll make a video on, like, what I think the best decks are for underleveled mid-ladder, if you guys want to see that. But, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.